Welcome back to the Nose Plays Darkest Dungeon. We are now on week 4 of our Radiant campaign, um, giving you my best tips for how to start playing Darkest Dungeon. So we've done a little bit of work so far, and we have a fair roster already. And this is the one thing that I would really focus on prioritizing in the early game. I know it's not the only way to play, but it is one of the easier ways to play and to make your foray into the game a little bit easier. The more heroes you have, the more options you have for sending different types of groups into the dungeon, and the more options you have for keeping the better heroes and relieving yourself of the ones that are no longer useful to you. So, we're going to continue that to some extent. The goal is once again to focus on getting some more of the stagecoach unlocked. We are currently at a full roster, so getting our hero barracks upgraded to size 21 will probably be the next thing that we do. We want to continue to have more and more options and more heroes at our disposal. We've already picked up the heroes for this last week. I don't remember exactly which ones they were, but we got a new group. We walked a brand new group through the dungeon last week and had to leave the mission a little bit early because things got a little hairy at the end there without a healer. I was a little concerned that that might be the case, but I do believe, yes, we got a new Vestal to take on this next run with us. She has a couple of interesting abilities, including some extra scouting chance in the Weald, so we might be trying a mission in the Weald. She also has Mace Bash and Dazzling Light, so she's primarily going to be a backline hero. If she does get moved to the front, she will still have one ability that she can use, which is fine. So let's go ahead and throw her in our party for now. I believe we did look at these quests as well, and we definitely don't have the quality of heroes that I like to generally have when going into a veteran dungeon. I like to have at least level 2 heroes that are fully equipped, or level 3 or higher heroes before taking on veteran dungeons. The rewards are definitely better if you can do that. But I believe, was it the Weald? Unfortunately, it was the Warrens. So the Warrens has some deeds for us. I would prefer to take any quest that has deeds. What else do we have? We also have deeds in the Cove. We don't have any lepers currently. We already have a stun chance trinket. Having 2 of them isn't a bad thing. And this is a highwayman trinket. This is absolutely the worst reward of the bunch. So I think we're going to go ahead and go with the one that has the best reward. Actually, this trinket is one we don't have. Duplicate trinkets are not great because you can't equip 2 of the same trinket typically on a hero. So maybe we'll go with this. Even though we don't have a leper yet, we may get one eventually. I'll think about it some more. Let's go ahead and fill out a party. So we have a hero. This guy's definitely not going to be sticking around much longer, I don't think. Do we have any Cove or Warren Scouters? This guy's a Warren Scrounger and a Weald Explorer. No. Weald Adventurer here. Okay. Beast Slayer. Ruins Adventure. Robust. Warren's Explorer. Plus 20 scout chance. Might be Skilled Gambler and Stout. Evasive. Okay. So maybe we'll take the Abomination on this run. He won't serve with my Vestal, though. Well, we don't necessarily have to worry about the scouting chance. It's not super important to what we're doing. Eagle Eye, Evasive. Wheeled Adventurer. Warren Scrounger. Yeah, let's take this one. Got a couple of ranged attacks. Probably want to put her in that position. Alright, so we need another frontliner. We could take Gifford again. This is a short quest, however, and that means we're not going to get to use any of our stress relieving abilities when we camp, because we don't get a camp, so Fear of Beasts is bad because there's a lot of beasts where we might be going here. Weald and Warrens. Yeah, we want to go in the Warrens. I believe most of the beasts are in the Weald. Can't remember if the pigs count as beasts. We just don't have a lot of good frontline characters right now. Let's go ahead and take our knight. I think this will be a suitable party for running a Warrens short run. We just have to complete 100% of room battles, and we do have a healer this time, so that should not be outside of the question. Alright, let's go ahead and trinket up. Before I put her in that position, let's see, she's got Iron Swan, Wicked Hack, Adrenaline Rush, and Bleed Out. Yeah, she definitely needs to be in the front position. Trinkets. Do we have any good trinkets for her? She has a bleed attack, but no stun. So no. Resistance to debuff is fine for 1 point of speed. He's already the slowest character we have. She can take the disease resistance since she has... she does have a little bit of speed. Probably still worth taking the disease resistance into this area. She's not running the stun ability, I don't think. Oh, she is running the stun. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and give her the stun trinket then. Not sure if I did that. Okay, I must have done that already. Alright, and that is really all we have at the moment. Definitely need to get some more trinkets. Time to provision. What do we got here? We'll take 12 food. Let's see, the Warrens has a lot of disease. So taking some disease resistance might be worthwhile. Probably only 2 shovels. That's probably good. Anti-venom? Yeah, we'll take a little bit of anti-venom too, just in case. I think there's a fair amount of blight and disease in the Warrens, if I'm not mistaken. Blight might mostly be in the Weald. That sounds right. Sounds like there. I think there's more enemies that blight in the
They
world.
breed quickly down there in the dark. But perhaps we can slay them even faster.
Alright, so this is a pretty small map. Unfortunately, we did not get a scouting check on our first room. It's always nice when you do, but we don't have a ton of scouting chance, so... Go ahead and use the bandages for that. Some free treasure and a bunch of free food. Did I not take it? Okay, that was a misclick. And once again, we forgot to grab torches. So this will be interesting. It's 2 games in a row now.
Curious is the trap maker's art. His efficacy unwitnessed by his own eyes.
Yeah, this is going
Mechanical hazards.
great
Possessed
so far.
by evil intent.
I believe this is a heal if we use the medicine herbs. Just a buff to damage. Alright, that's fine. Really? This might be the easiest mission we've ever had. Alright, well there's no reason to continue down that pathway. Go back this way. Actually, we'll be greedy. We'll grab this. Okay. Avoid the battles. Where we can, because no need to fight unnecessary battles when you have no torches. This can remove a negative quirk. Go ahead. No. Well, that really was a bad idea then.
The darkness holds much worse than mere trickery and boogeymen.
Alright. These things can cause disease, so we want to avoid that as much as possible. Also, this guy can cause a ton of stress damage. See if we can't stun one of these. Nice crit. Alright, forward 2, that would not be good. Alright, go ahead and kill this one.
Formation is broken.
Prevent it from
Maintain
acting.
the offensive. And now the true test. Hold fast or expire. Back to the pit.
Alright, so we'll use the potion and the heal. Nice crit heal. Go ahead and boost our light a little bit. I guess we'll just buff. See if we can't get the stun. And set up the kill.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
Alright, take all. We're just making all kinds of goofy mistakes. But the good news is there's only one room left. So 100% of room battles has to be at the end of this room. We can get another damage buff. And we'll go ahead and throw it on her, because she is our primary damage dealer. Or at least one of them. And
Cruel machinations spring to life with a singular
she's going to be
purpose.
tested. Okay, masochist. Well, at least we got her to eat.
Another one falls.
That was good. Yeah, they're really going to just focus her down.
Executed with impunity. Teetering on the brink, facing the abyss.
Wow. Vigorous. All right. Good job, Gifford.
Adversity can foster hope and resilience.
It's a good thing we acted before her. Oh, she is refusing to be healed. Well, that is just lovely. Alright. She's gonna have to make a death's door check. Still refusing to be healed.
Impressive.
We might be able to get out of this. Alright, she made her check, so she survives another turn.
Another abomination cleansed from our lands.
Go ahead and cleanse her of that. Eat some food. Search with the key. And some more loot. So, despite the fact that this was a really terrible run, once again, because of my poor planning, we did manage to get out with 4 more deeds and 3 more paintings, both of which will trade 4 more paintings. So this is actually the equivalent of something like 10 deeds plus the 3 from that. So we got about 13 deeds, which is what we wanted to do. Maybe even 14 if I throw away some crests and trade those in. Also, a trinket or 2. So pretty good run overall. Also a pretty short run, so I think we're going to go ahead and do another one and hopefully pay a little more attention to
Their
purchasing
squeals
torches.
fade. Their confidence is shaken.
Okay, slow reflexes is bad. Armor Tinker is okay, but not great. Yeah. overall, not the worst dungeon we've ever run. Let's hope that we get some medium or long options.
Women and men, soldiers and outlaws, fools and corpses. All will find their way to us now that the road is clear.
6 more recruits than usual, so we actually will have 10 new recruits to pick from. Unfortunately, we don't have any more room on our roster, so we're going to have to make some decisions here, and we definitely have some people who are probably good to go. Looks like Dismas has reinforced his quick reflexes and has removed his stress from Unholy. That's good. We can start using him again. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stagecoach. Oh my, look at all these recruits. Lots of good faces. So the first thing that we want to do is see how far away we are. We are about 8 deeds away from being able to increase our roster size. We definitely have a lot of portraits, so let's go ahead and 4 portraits for 6. So we're going to have to do 6 portraits for 9. Yeah. 6 portraits for 9. That will give us enough portraits, or excuse me, enough deeds to go ahead and get our next upgrade while still keeping us pretty solvent in the portrait realm.
Word is traveling. Ambition is stirring in distant cities.
Okay.
We can use this.
So that gives us 5 free heroes, and then if we want to take any more than 5, we're going to have to drop a couple of used souls, and I have a few in mind. Before we do anything else, let's go ahead and unequip all of our trinkets and unequip all of our heroes from the previous mission and take a quick peek at what new missions we have. So it looks like we have a couple of medium missions in the Warrens. Surgical gloves. More crit chance, more accuracy, but a reduction to move resist and debuff. Those are actually not terrible penalties for 5% crit chance and accuracy. That potentially has some uses on a few individuals. Also 15% max hit points, but a reduction to stun resist. That's an interesting trade-off. I don't know that I like taking stun resistance, debuffing. That can be pretty damaging on the wrong time. But 15% max hit points is nothing to snuff at. Both of these missions are only giving 2 busts, which is not fantastic. But it doesn't look like we have a lot of better missions, so we'll probably take one of these. The surgical gloves seem to be more useful, in my opinion, than the other item. More importantly, because they can be used by anyone. Okay, back to the stagecoach, and we need to find 5 new recruits, but before we do that, let's go ahead and take a look at who can probably hit the road. So, Cavalier did not fare so well in this last dungeon. She already has 4 pretty bad, well, not pretty bad, but 4 negative quirks. Her positive quirks are nothing really exciting. The scouting chance is pretty useful for a character like her, and Manslayer is actually pretty useful, but in order to make her useful for a dungeon run, we're going to have to spend a bunch of gold on her to get her stress removed. Instead of that, we could just send her on her way and recruit a new one. And we already have 3 grave robbers, so I don't feel too bad about getting rid of this one.
Send this one to journey elsewhere, for we have need of sterner stock.
Houndmaster also has a pretty bad penalty with -3 crit on ranged attacks. Considering all of his attacks are pretty much ranged except for Blackjack, which he doesn't even have unlocked yet. He's got a lot of stress. We only used him once, but there were some Houndmasters in this rabble that came to the door. Let's see, definitely taking the Houndmaster.
A lawman and his faithful beast. A bond forged by battle and bloodshed.
There's a second Houndmaster. Eagle Eye. Interesting. Interesting set of crit-based quirks there. This one's a Ruins Scrounger, Cove Phobe, and a Ruins Phobe. Interesting that he has those two traits. But I think we'll take him as well. I like having a man-at-arms.
The raw strength of youth may be spent, but his eyes hold the secrets of 100 campaigns.
We don't have an Arbalist yet.
Shoot, bandage, and pillage. The dancing steps of war.
Healers are always appreciated.
A sister of battle, pious and unrelenting.
Okay, so looking at these quirks, Montebrae is particularly interesting. +5 accuracy and +5 evasive or dodge are pretty good. Extra stress versus humans is not fantastic, but I do like his skill loadout as well. He has a stress heal, so I think we have to take him.
A mighty sword arm anchored by holy purpose. A zealous warrior.
We didn't even look at these characters because we don't even have their type yet. Yeah. Okay. I'd like to pick up the Occultist, if for no other reason than we can then run a healer with the Abomination, and we can run a party with the Abomination a lot easier that way. We are full up at the moment, so we're going to have to get rid of somebody. I think this Houndmaster is definitely going to have to go. No need to
This one has
spend.
become vestigial. Useless.
No need to spend extra gold on a Houndmaster that we can easily replace. That'll give us another slot for this
To
guy.
fight the abyss, one must know it.
I'm considering dropping this guy just because the -3 crit chance really reduces his ability to self-stress heal with crits. And since most of his abilities are melee abilities, excuse me, I would just like to have this other Hellion. Tough is a pretty good ability to have for a frontliner. Ruins Explorer is not bad. -5 dodge kind of sucks. Yeah, maybe she's not as good as I thought. What about this highwayman? Steady, he's okay. And the leper, what did we have? Resilient, Eldritch Hater, reduced hit points. Yeah, let's not take any of these guys. Maybe this one if we can find somebody to drop. Can keep one of our bounty hunters maybe. Which of the two bounty hunters is better? Weak grip on this one. Healer's Gift. Calm. Yeah, Calm's pretty terrible. Fear of Beasts. Let's go ahead and get rid of this guy. We haven't even used him yet, but that gives us another slot. And you can see once more why having more space in your barracks is so critical, because there's just a lot of heroes you can take. We should be able to make quite a few good parties out of this group that we have now. So let's figure out what we're going to take with us on week 5. Definitely going to take this dungeon quest. We can spend a little bit of extra gold on this trip. We're sitting at about 24,000, so we can spend down to about 20,100 before we go negative on our loot. And I think this might be a good time. We got a stress reducer here, and both of these guys are running the stress reduce ability. In fact, they have pretty much the same abilities, except this one has a better camping ability, so we're going to take him. He might actually be a second position, so he can use Blackjack. Although then we can't stress reduce, so well, we'll think about that for a second. Okay, we need to take the Occultist, the Abomination, and one more. Preferably someone else who has a stress relief ability. I think this guy would make a good one. Oh, he won't go with the Abomination. That's right. So we can't take him. A backliner. Lots of things with blight resistance in the Warrens, but not so much arrow resistance. She primarily has heal camping skills. That's not great for us. Anybody else? Could take the new highwayman. He does have a stress relief skill at least, which makes him a little more valuable on missions where we can camp. I think I like this party fine the way it is. We're going to have to move you to the second position, I believe. Stab works, curse works, heal works, and hex works. So yeah, you can be in any position. You actually prefer the third position, if I'm not mistaken. So putting our Occultist in the front row may turn out to be a bad idea, but that's the way we're going to run it this time. We are going to go ahead and give you the whistle and the book. Our abomination has a stun skill, so trinketing him with one of the stuns makes sense to me. Yeah, you can't have two at the same one on the same hero. However, do we have a stun? No. He did not come with his stun. I believe one of his abilities is a stun. We do have an occultist trinket, but that reduces his hit points, which is even more dangerous for him being in the front position, so we're definitely not going to take that. Alright, I think this will work for a medium run, and we'll see how we do. We are going to remember to purchase torches this time, not just food. So let's go ahead and provision. 2 shovels. We'll take all the food. We'll take 8 torches, 10 torches, 2 keys, 2 of those, 2 of those, 2 of those. I don't think we're going to need holy water. We'll take 1. Alright, we have everything this time. We purchased just down to what we needed, so the money that we recoup from passing this quest will pay us back for all these goods, and any treasure we carry out will be profit.
To prosecute our war against the swine, we must first scout their squalid homes.
Okay, I think we'll make a loop around this way. We don't need to scout for this room.
The way is lit. The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
Okay, a little bit of extra gold. A trap. That's unfortunate. Double trap.
Carelessness will find no clemency in this place.
A torch with a little bit of gold. Alright, we can search the cart, unfortunately.
Packs laden with loot are often low on supplies.
Alright, we got a ton of food now. He's got a 50-50 chance to disarm the trap and do a stress heal. Or we can go ahead and use the stress heal to remove some of the stress off of the Houndmaster. I think I'd rather roll the 50-50. And then we can just back right up to the door. Light a torch. And continue on. Leave the books alone. We're getting an unusually small number of rim battles today for some reason. Not sure what's going on with that, but
Mind that such missteps are the exception and not the rule.
all that extra food used to top him off. Okay, we have a stress heal that we can use. We are dangerously close to triggering a resolve check. I should have brought extra bandages. I forgot about that. Let's go ahead and get rid of this little piggy. Alright, we're getting some pretty bad rolls here. Lucky dodge with the debuff there. Minus 10 dodge for 3 rounds. He's not going to dodge much. Alright, they're putting extra marks on our guys. That piggy's dead, but he's also doing a lot of damage to us, so we gotta get rid of him.
Quarter.
The Bolo gives us knockback on those guys. Or we could just shoot. Clears marks. This would probably be a good idea. Clears marks and 10% debuff resist. Alright.
The blood quickens.
See if we can't land a stun on this guy. Houndmaster needs to take out the stress dealer. We really need a stress heal here just in case, so we're gonna have to heal ourselves.
The slow death. Unforeseen.
That worked out pretty well.
Unforgiving.
Minus 30% damage. These guys both have really low debuff resistance, so
Masterfully executed.
we're going to try to reduce his damage and focus the Acolyte down. Alright, we need a good roll. We're going to go ahead and heal the bleed. And we rolled a 0. That's just fantastic game. Stress heal. Stun that guy for another turn.
As life ebbs,
That is not good.
terrible vistas of emptiness reveal themselves.
formation is broken.
Alright, let's see if we
Maintain
get
the
some
offensive.
recovery. We'll just blind fire. Good roll this time. Alright, an 8. Stress heal. And the blind
Continue the
fire.
onslaught. Destroy them all.
We may have to camp soon. Ancient barbaric rituals, huh? None of these things are working. A torch? Yeah, I'm not sure what we use to interact with that, so we're going to skip it. Alright, we got to explore 90% of rooms. That means we may need to come back and explore that one. This one is a free room. And unfortunately, we did not roll the 50-50.
Watch your step.
Alright, well, that is unfortunate. We're going to go ahead and scout as many rooms as we can on this torch, and then when we camp, we'll be able to replenish all of our light. To finish the last few rooms. This is going to be a damage buff on one of our characters. You were pretty underwhelming. So we'll go ahead and throw that on for now.
Darkness closes in, haunting the hearts of men.
Alright. So the question is, do we camp here? Or do we try to take on one more battle before we camp? We have plenty of food, we can heal up. I think we're going to go ahead and try one more battle.
Wealth beyond measure, awarded to the brave and the foolhardy alike.
Since these were scouted, they can't surprise us, which is why I'm willing to risk this in the dark. They have really high blight resist, so we'll just take these guys down.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
That was unfortunate. Just cut yourself. We're gonna go ahead and stress heal and heal his self-damage back. Ooh.
Dazed, reeling,
And his
about
taunt
to break.
definitely caught their attention.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Alright, we have the chance to heal here. The Houndmaster still to act. And we have a chance to stress heal and go one more round or two against this thing.
A brilliant confluence of skill and purpose.
Alright, so do we kill it before it acts? I think we go ahead and take it down. Let's use a skill that has a higher accuracy, though. Yeah, this one. And we don't do enough damage. Lovely. Just keep stress healing down. Alright.
Ghoulish horrors, brought low and driven into the mud.
Alright, this will be a good room to camp in. And
Gathered close
we
in
have
tenuous
plenty of
firelight
food for that.
and
So
uneasy companionship.
everybody's in pretty good shape. One companion heals 50% and removes mortality debuff. That might be worth doing. Minus 15 stress on one companion. All companions minus 10 stress. Prevents nighttime ambush. Yes, definitely want to do that. Heal and remove blight or bleed. I mean, it's not a very strong blight, so we don't have to worry about that. She's a really good healer for camping. He's got 18 and he's got 16. So we can go ahead and drop his down. His is already high. There's not much we can do about it. We've got 1 point. I don't think anybody has a 1-point ability. Oh, we do. Abandon Hope. Minus 25% stress with an increased stress on everybody else. Probably not a good idea to use that one. So we'll just go ahead and rest with 1 turn. We should
The match is struck.
be
A
fine.
blazing star is born.
Our hound should make sure of that. Alright, we only have a few more rooms to get to before we complete this quest. Alright, well, if you're going to be ornery, we're just going to go ahead and be ornery. Minus 10 dodge, minus 2 speed. This character has no dodge, so that's not very useful, so I think we're just going to smack him. Definitely want to get rid of that guy soon. Minus 15 dodge will be helpful.
Well struck.
The mark will also help. We do extra damage versus marked targets. Okay, that bleed is a 1 damage bleed, so that's not going to kill him, unfortunately, this round. But I don't think it makes sense to waste an action on him. prime this guy for death next turn. He's pretty dangerous. Alright. Just gonna... Nice! 18 crit. This will be his last action of the game. We're gonna go for a heal on ourself. 7's not a bad roll. Houndmaster's going to, unfortunately, be 2 hit points short once again. But that does allow us to finish him off with the Arbalest. That is a very dangerous attack. It can do a lot more damage than that if it crits. Rake actually buffs his damage for a while.
Prodigious size
We don't need to
alone
worry
does
about
not
that.
dissuade the sharpened blade.
Alright, we'll take those goodies. Throw that trinket on somebody for now. He won't let me move him? I don't know what that was about.
Glittering gold,
Not
trinkets
much.
and baubles, paid for in blood.
Alright. Moving right along. We already used our holy water, so... Let's see if you stick your hands in there.
The light, the promise of safety.
Get our light back up. We're almost done. Bandages, we do have some bandages. Here we go. Good roll for loot? No. Not so much. But enough. We'll go ahead and relieve some stress with a perfect chance to disarm a trap.
As the light gains purchase,
We'll go ahead and check out
Spirits
this
are
last
lifted.
room,
And purpose is made clear.
since we're in pretty good shape. Alright, this would be a good time to use Rake. So we're going to go ahead and monster out and go ahead and Rake. Stab the piggy. That's not good. We're just not getting the damage we need right now. 3 guys on this one character, we couldn't kill it.
The horror. Exposed to a killing blow.
Alright, stress is kind of getting out of control once again, partially because of our A-bomb.
A powerful
That
blow.
will help set things up. Hopefully we land a bleed. No. If we can get rid of this guy. 3 3 hit points. Alright, there we go. We can turn back into a human, which makes everybody a little bit happier. And stun this guy. And get a round of healing off, hopefully. Not doing very good on our rolls for the occultist heal, which is unfortunate. I guess I'll take the corpse out. Grab a stress heal.
Death waits for the slightest lapse
Big
in
crit by the
concentration.
pig. Just making it difficult for us to keep up on reducing our stress here. Another very poor roll on our healing for the occultist. And this should finish him off.
Success so
some
clearly
nice
in
loot.
view. Or is it merely a trick of the light?
Alright. One last battle here. Double dodge by the spiders. Alright, we've got an antidote for that. And just not doing the damage we need.
Be gone, fiend.
They stun the Helmmaster.
Back to the pit.
Rake does its job this time. Finally a decent roll on a heal. Blind fire. And blind fire again.
Executed with impunity. A trifling victory, but a victory nonetheless.
Alright. We'll have the A-bomb go ahead and check out the loot.
If only treasure could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption.
And we should totally have doused the torch before doing that. We can throw that away for the deeds. And throw the dog biscuits away for the bus, since they don't trade for anything. That is pretty much it. We have 2 possible battles we could do, but there was not much else left on this map, so we're going to go ahead and end this one.
The Swinefolk's labyrinth may yet prove to be navigable.
And we'll see how we do on money. So we came out 6,000 gold ahead of where we were. And got a couple of pretty bad quirks. Lurker's pretty bad. Mercurial and the Yips are also bad.
family name, once so well regarded, is now barely whispered aloud by decent folk.
Well, we may be sending some of these heroes on their way, but that's what the stagecoach is for. Brand new recruits. So, natural swing is pretty good. Resolution's not bad. The stress is a little high at this point on this character, but overall he's still in pretty good shape, and he's level 1 now. Slugger, 10% melee damage. This isn't a horrible quirk. Not one that you would typically use for this character class, but not one that's bad, especially if you're using Sacrificial Stab in the Cove or any place where there's lots of Eldritch. That could be pretty good. Photomania is not very good unless you want to run a dark run. Clumsy is just terrible. Flawed Release doesn't have any effect on her, since I don't believe any of her attacks are ranged. So that's actually probably one of the best negative quirks that you could get on her, since it really has no impact on her ability whatsoever. That would be one you'd want to leave on her potentially, just so there's less chance of getting other ones that are worse. Alright, who else do we got? A tough Beast Slayer with reduced bleed resistance. There is potential for you. Tough and Beast Slayer are both pretty good quirks to have when running in the Warrens like we were. As a frontliner, that could be really useful. Backtracker's pretty pathetic. Armor Trinket or Armor Tinker is okay once you get higher level. It can help reduce your cost, but it's just basically a very minor gold buff. Bloodthirsty and Clumsy. Clumsy's really bad again. I don't want to take anybody who has something like Clumsy. This character has some potential. No. And this character has some potential. So let's go ahead and, before we do anything else, let's see, can we increase our hero barracks? Probably not. We're only on 3 deeds. We do have 15 portraits and 15 busts, but we don't want to be spending these right now in great quantity. I could trade my portraits. Let's just see if we traded like 10 portraits, we could get 15 deeds, but that still wouldn't be enough. I'd have to trade 12 portraits to get enough to get more space. You know, I think it's probably worth it. $10 for 15. Yeah, this is really a tough decision for me. I'm not sure whether I want to increase our space or increase the number of heroes we get each week. I kind of would like to do both. Let's go ahead and trade those in and increase our barrack size. Then we can just grab all of these guys.
Barbaric rage and unrelenting savagery make for a powerful ally.
Grab all of those guys, and then we'll just see from the next week which ones get kicked. I think our stagecoach is just about as far as we're going to get it, or at least focus on getting it. We'll still continue to upgrade it, but I'm not going to be focusing on grabbing deeds and trading in portraits to make more deeds. We're going to start focusing on leveling up some of our heroes, some of the better ones that we've collected at this point, and getting a realistic team that can start to take on some veteran dungeons in the next couple of weeks. That's going to be my primary goal. Let's go ahead and unequip trinkets. Got a couple of new good ones. This one definitely has some potential to be used by a handful of heroes. And that's where we're going to end the video today. So didn't have quite as much energy tonight, but we'll hopefully pick things up tomorrow and have a little bit more successful couple of runs, and we'll see you then.